For many millennia, people have been searching for the meaning of life. Look around, what do you see? There are people who are gifted, happy, and constantly busy. There are those who are depressed, suffer from various kinds of addictions, and drag out an empty and meaningless existence. The life of each of us is finite, and no matter how much we want, sooner or later our path will come to a natural conclusion. But one person leaves with a feeling of deep satisfaction, fulfilled duty. The other realizes that life has been lived in vain, and what he would like to achieve did not work out. So what is this meaning and how to find it? The best minds of mankind have tried in vain to find an answer to this question. A large number of philosophical categories and the ambiguity of the existence of life after death do not allow us to clearly define our value as an individual. Success has become an external indicator of human well-being and productivity. To reach the top in our career, to create a beautiful picture of our lives, we are ready to sacrifice a lot. In our youth, a prestigious job, even if it takes away all our energy and time, an expensive car and a bunch of other material attributes of social status seem incredibly important to us. We are inspired by the names of people the whole world knows. We consider such success to be a real result of life and strive to repeat it. However, we rarely think about what the real price of such success is. When we are young, it seems to us that everything is still ahead of us. We will still have time and opportunity to realize ourselves in all possible guises. So we do not strive to develop harmoniously, to realize our dreams and fantasies. We are always in a hurry, and as a rule these are not the things that bring joy and harmony into our lives. At this time, we often measure everything with money. The need to accumulate a large amount, a certain fortune takes over. Time passes and we realize that it is not necessary to participate in the race called the latest model. Some things perfectly cope with their functions even after a long period of operation. This forces us to think about how we use the time that was allotted to us. In most cases, we regret that we devoted too much time to work and little communication with those people who were important to us, walked a little, engaged in creativity and travel. The ancient Egyptians believed that death was a logical continuation of life, so they carefully prepared for this event. They believed that after death, a person must travel a long way to get to the judgment of Osiris. If he managed to overcome all the obstacles, he found himself in the face of an ancient deity. Here, the higher powers analyzed a person's life, determined how righteous it was, whether he did good deeds or lived only for his own pleasure. Other religions have spread in the modern world. These teachings allow us to outline the correct path of human development from the point of view of religion, his moral code. However, none of them provides a scale for evaluating life. How do we determine what our life is worth? Was there any meaning in it? Or did we just waste our time? Even the wisest person on the planet cannot answer this question unequivocally. Mercantile people calculate the expenses of parents for the birth and upbringing of a child, educational institutions for his education, for treatment. They consider the amount of expenses to be the material equivalent of any person's life. Criminals believe that the value of a person's life is equal to the value of an apartment, money and things that can be appropriated after his death. The sages believe that the equivalent of life on the other side of the scale can only be life. We are born, we go to study, then we work. Everyone's day is the same. You wake up, do business, go to bed. Regardless of the place of study, residence, profession, everything is about the same. Nothing in life will change much, and the lives of all people are somewhat similar, no matter what you do. As a result, most of us will end up as old, helpless old men, and when life ends, no one will remember you. Everyone will forget about you. Then why do we go to work and raise children? What is the meaning of life? After reading Richard Dawkins' book The Selfish Gene, which is on the lists of the best scientific books from Discover, The Guardian and the Royal Society of London, we found the answer to this eternal question. The evolutionary meaning of life is long-term reproduction and an increase in the population or their genes. We can increase the chances of spreading genes in several ways. To help your children and relatives, every person and every living being. All other common meanings of life are only consequences of a certain order. Thanks to evolutionary development, people have a subconscious mind. It has ensured survival and reproduction for millions of years. There are many theories and models of the subconscious mind. The main subconscious aspirations: security, certainty, status, community, freedom, justice, self-realization, emotions and novelty. All the aspirations of the subconscious mind contribute to the spread of genes. By understanding our conscious and subconscious desires, we can consciously make decisions and manage our lives. By recognizing and satisfying them, we will be more efficient and happier. The basis for our reasoning will be a synthetic theory of evolution. This is Darwin's modern theory of evolution, accepted in the scientific world. The main factor of evolution is natural selection. As a result of evolution, the number of individuals most adapted to the environment increases. The biological or evolutionary meaning of life is the maximum distribution of a population, according to Richard Dawkins. As a result of evolution, the fittest genes rather than population spread. There is an opinion that such a replacement does not contradict the theory of evolution, but simply expresses a view from the other side. How can we promote the spread of our genes? We have two options: to reproduce yourself or to help the carriers of your genes reproduce. By the latter, we mean our parents, brothers and sisters, children, relatives, compatriots, and all people in general. All living organisms are descended from a common ancestor, and the DNA of any two people matches 99%. We cannot directly influence the reproduction of other people, but we can improve their lives. In theory, this will lead to an increase in the population and the spread of our genes. Let's decompose the meaning of life into its components. Common properties that are useful for yourself and the group. To survive, except in cases of self-sacrifice for the sake of the interests of the offspring or the group. Be healthy, strong, energetic. The stronger we are, the easier it is for us to achieve our goals. More resources, time, money, connections, knowledge and skills, reputation and status. All this will help you achieve your goal. On reproductive success, save your genes' health, find a good partner, to give birth and raise children, to help children find a partner and give birth to grandchildren, and so on. Everything else is derived from the evolutionary meaning of life. Let's look at the most popular meanings of life. A lot of money. Almost no one needs money like paper or metal. Money is a resource that can be spent on the main directions: to survive on your own, to ensure the survival and development of your children. Money helps to satisfy subconscious needs, things, status, entertainment that appeared as a result of evolution and helped us spread genes. Children, along with siblings and parents, are the most genetically close people to you. By creating conditions for their development, you ensure the life of your genes. Status is one of the strongest social needs of the subconscious mind. Individuals with the highest status survived better and produced the most offspring, which they ensured viability due to their power. By helping other people, we increase their chances of survival and reproduction. This increases the likelihood of our shared genes spreading. The exception is the presence of direct competition for resources. In this case, it is better to spread your own genes, not someone else's. Just plain selfishness, nothing personal. The desire to satisfy your subconscious desires. These desires appeared in an evolutionary way and contributed to the spread of genes. And those who wanted the wrong things died out. Just following your desires is not a good idea. What worked well thousands of years ago will not always work today. The scheme based on the theory of evolution looks logical, but the theory of evolution has emerged recently. But how did people live before that? How do animals exist that don't have any theory? And how does eating at night, spontaneous purchases on credit, alcohol and drugs fit into this picture of the world? We will find the answer in the same theory of evolution. Living beings evolved gradually. Over time, they developed irritability. It is the ability to react to the external environment and change one's behavior. Tools for responding and changing behavior have evolved. To simplify, we can call all these behavioral changes subconscious actions. And changing behavior through the use of logic and rational thinking is a conscious action. With the help of the subconscious, organisms regulated their behavior and survived in a changing world. Anyone cannot think about evolution and successfully exist in the world with the help of subconscious actions. The existence of human instincts is a rather controversial issue. Some say they are, some say they are not. The goal of the subconscious mind and consciousness is the same. It is the maximum spread of genes. A simple example is eating sweets. I couldn't give it up for years. And now, when I want sweets, I remember the meaning of life. I tell myself that this will reduce the likelihood of spreading genes, will interfere with me and my children, and will not allow me to bring maximum benefit to the world. This increased my chances of better health, increased the ability to save a lot of your resources. And the more resources and health there are, the higher the chances of spreading genes. Now you know why we all live. You don't have to torment yourself with this question. Improve your life, the lives of your children and relatives. Move humanity forward through work. This will ensure the spread of your genes. You can set goals for this year based on these directions. You can make a logical connection between your actions and increasing the likelihood of gene spread. If you can't build such a connection, think about what you're doing wrong. Maybe you realize the goals of the subconscious, although they are no longer relevant. Or do you help other people achieve their goals to the detriment of your interests? When choosing what to do, you can always compare these actions in terms of their impact on the chances of gene spread.